Right, guys, so this is my game, the second game I'm posting today against Slaviko88, um, who is a great player. And we played on Langres. Hold up, I have to, sorry for doing this now, for not doing it earlier. Do this. And Slaviko is a great player. In fact, I have no idea why we were matched against one another, because this guy has pretty much 20,000 games. He's level 14 Panzer Elite and he's level 8 Wehrmacht. And I am level 5 US, so I don't know why we're matched. He's so much better than me. It's not even the same, range. Um, but it's an interesting game for one reason that we're gonna get to later. And he was a really nice guy because I asked him some questions to explain some things he did during the game, once the game was finished, and we're going to talk about it a little bit toward the end of the game. Also, Slaviko is Russian. Um, if you haven't noticed from the Cyrillic writing, okay, so sorry, this SFX is way too loud. And Slaviko, there is a similar, I don't know if that's his name or surname or whatever, but Slaviko is very similar to the Croatian name Slavko, which I find interesting. But I mean, understandably, Russian and Croatian are both Slavic languages. They essentially have the same core, so it's not odd that there are like a lot of overlapping things. So in the early game, Slaviko is obviously gonna try to capture this point. I'm gonna go around with my jeep, trying to look for someone. Also, it's -5. My friend and I, we went to a football game last night here in Croatia. It rained during the first half, and by football I mean European football, not American. It rained during the first half, and then it started snowing during the second half, and it got so cold. Um, my toes on my right foot completely froze. When we got home, we had to keep our feet on the radiator to warm up. It was such an incredibly cold game. I have a picture. I'm not gonna show it because it'd be weird. But I have a picture of my right foot, and you can see that my second toe is completely white. It's pale as fuck from the cold, from the lack of blood circulation. So when he said in Moscow it's -5, it was -5 yesterday in Croatia during the game, and we did not have a good time. Let me tell you that much. But anyway, he dealt some damage to the G, but I managed to keep it alive. So I'm repairing it now. And these guys are going to go on a capping mission here. He's holding the middle really well right now at this moment in time. And we're both kind of doing our jobs, just capping everything we can cap without putting too much risk. That first confrontation was maybe a little bit too risky for some. Um, but yeah, I try to beat him to the house. I'm not, obviously, he's closer. If I had beaten him to the house, he probably would have retreated at these Volksgrenadiers, because it would have made no sense for him to continue combating. But I'm not going to beat him to the house. I honestly don't know why I kept my guys here at this point. I don't have grenades. I immediately move them back. I don't have grenades, I don't have BRs. I have no way to hurt them inside the house. But my Jeep can deal some damage, and it does, as my guys cap, and I have another squad coming here. If I had used that squad, put them here, and put these two guys here, I probably would have killed the Falklandiers, but I didn't, because I'm a bit of an idiot. But yeah, and they're gonna get away. It's a bit ridiculous that he has a... Is that a 50 cal? I think it is. That a 50 cal can't kill a few human engineers, but yeah, it is what it is. In a close matchup like this, the riflemen are always going to beat the false grenadiers, but they're not going to beat them from a distance. So if I had kept my riflemen here, for example, they would have actually beaten me. But if I put them face to face, the riflemen are going to win every time, especially with the help of a jeep. That's not even a competition. But he is going to pull out the... Oh yeah, the ancient RPG, the ancient German RPG, and he's gonna destroy my shit. But yeah. I'm capping. I'm on a capping mission. I'm gonna try to kill these guys. Do I have something building? Not yet. But they're gonna retreat, obviously. He's not gonna let his pioneers die this close to base. It would make absolutely no sense. These guys are being reinforced. And he has a sniper, and this sniper is gonna be pain. How does Bora say it? He's pain in my assholes. This guy's gonna be pain in my assholes for the entire fucking game. Just keep an eye on him for now. Let's see. Let's see how Slaviko is doing. Oh, he's doing. We're pretty even with resources, I think. I'm actually doing a bit better with munitions. He's doing better with fuel, but with manpower, it's. Oh, he's actually doing also better with manpower, but not that much better. Not that much better. It's not too big of a difference. But yeah, um, yeah, he's sending these guys on a capping mission. I'm re reinforcing right now. A pretty even game so far. We both dealt some damage, we both took some, but at this point it's starting to feel like he's slowly gaining the upper hand. I'm getting BARs. They're gonna pop any second now. There we go. Um, and that sniper is gonna get the hell out of there because he knows he stands no chance. But I also have to get the hell out of there because both of my squads are on very low health. And yeah, even though I had 5 of them, you can see how low the health bar is. I had absolutely no chance. They would have killed me even with my BARs. These guys are idle, which is bad. Poor game management from me. What's he building? Oh yeah, he's got a Kampfkraft center, and this is an important point. I want you to try to remember this for later. A Kampfkraft center costs money, you know, and buying veterancy from it also costs money. I mean, it costs manpower, not money. Um, and he's gonna buy a lot of veterancy in this game. And this is something that's going to bother me because he's not gonna lose seemingly almost no sleep over it, and he's not gonna lose almost no resources over it. And this is something that really, really freaked me out at the end of the game. Um, because no matter what I did in this game, this guy just, for some reason, it seemed like he did not lose any resources at any point. And now I'm afraid that it's not loud enough. I hope that's loud enough, because I have headphones on, so I'm not really sure. Yeah, these guys should get the hell out of Dodge. I don't have grenades yet. I'm getting them. I don't have them yet. But at this point, it might seem like I'm maybe have the upper hand because I have like 60% of the territory, but that's just temporary. It's not gonna be like that forever. If you hear some noise in the background, like a hitting or a clicking sound, that's just me pulling out the what do you call it? The thing, the keyboard plate under my on my desk. If this is what you hear. These guys should move forward more, but yeah, I'm gonna retreat them. I should have used them for a flanking mission on these guys, on these machine gunners in here. I should have went with my riflemen here, drew attention, and then flamed them the hell out of there. That's actually what I wanted to do originally, but this fucking sniper, which is already on 8 kills, and these guys stood in the way, so... I have a really, really poor time of dealing with snipers. Ever since I started playing this game, I don't know what it is, but um, it doesn't matter at which point in the game they arrive. It doesn't matter what other, units the opponent has in the field, I'm really, really bad at dealing with snipers. You can make my day really, really difficult by just putting a sniper on the field, and Slaviko is probably becoming aware of that any moment now. But yeah, I should ideally have a Jeep out now, but my Jeep died, so pretty much the only way of dealing with the sniper right now is either chasing him down with infantry units, which is not going to happen because he's faster, right? Or fielding out an M8, which is also not going to happen because I'm gonna be building a tank depot soon. Because as you can tell, I have a lot of fuel, so I figured, why the hell not? I have a lot of fuel. When I build a tank depot, he's trying to decap this to cut off all of this area here, and I should frankly be doing the same thing. So I should be capping this, right? I feel this is a tiny bit, I'm going to pause it for a second there. I feel this is a tiny bit unbalanced because my equivalent of him doing this is me doing this, right? Is me capping this. And I don't know if you can tell, but this is actually much closer to his base than this is to mine. It's not a huge difference, but it is a bit closer. So I think he can do it a bit more easily than I could. But yeah. He's decapping this. Obviously, I'm gonna reinforce that area immediately. I'm gonna burn the hell out of there. I'm gonna recap. I don't know if here's a stupid question, but I don't know if American engineers actually use flamethrowers in the European theater of war. I know for a fact that flamethrowers were a huge thing in the Pacific. Most definitely, yeah, they were especially used for burning down bunkers and those jungle encampments the Japanese had, and I know they were incredibly useful because the Japanese often surrendered at the mere sight of a flamethrower. But I don't know if they actually use them in Europe. Also, when I say the Japanese surrendered, don't buy into the bullshit propaganda that Japanese never surrendered. It's true for some troops, yeah, that they would rather die than surrender. But a lot of Japanese troops didn't want to die for their emperor, and they did surrender, in fact. So when people say, like, the Japanese would rather die than surrender, that's like, meh, the kind of true, but it's not the full truth. So, be careful who you're listening to out there. Also be careful when you're listening to me. I'm not a historian. I just happen to know a lot about World War II. But yeah, as I was saying, I'm not. I don't know if this is too loud or not loud enough. I'm still trying to figure it out. I hate the fact that he managed to get that bar. I was so angry when he did that. And he managed to get out alive. I fucking hate that. Hate him for that. But yeah, good move from him. He keeps decapping this point and decapping this point, and I cannot come close enough to decap this. Not even this. So yeah, it's a pretty difficult game for me so far, but I'm managing like to stay alive against a much better player. He is a much better player. I mean, you can tell probably at this point already that he definitely knows what he's doing much more than I know, much more than me. I'm assuming I thought that a flank was coming from here. That's why I sent these guys. I thought that these units were actually going here. That's why I sent these guys there. So when they came here, I had to evacuate. I had to retreat. There was another way for me to survive, and I'm going to build a supply yard and try to get. But I did manage to kill those engineers though, and I'm going to try to get a tank depot because I wanted to get a Sherman out because I really, 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 words cannot express how much I wanted to kill this fucking sniper. 17 kills. Oh my god, it's not even mid-game. It's almost mid-game, but not even mid-game, and he's already 18 kills. I wanted to get a Sherman just for the sole reason of killing a single sniper. Yeah, you heard me right. But I just... But it's... he's not even... He's not even that active in combat, if we're being honest. He's just doing a really, really good job at passively, slowly biting at me, nibbling at me. And in Croatia, we have a saying that we say, zrno po zrno pogača, which probably sounds like fucking Chinese to some of you guys. But it means I honestly can't remember. I honestly don't know how to translate this. Seed by seed, and you get a pastry, for lack of better words. Seed by seed, and you get a pastry. And this motherfucker right here is the definition of seed by seed because he just stands on the sidelines, and he doesn't play risky with the sniper at all. He's just, he's so far away. He knows that I can't touch him, and if I try to move my guys toward him, he would just retreat. He already retreated like 5 or 6 times in this game, and he's not afraid to retreat. He doesn't want to risk him. His purpose here is just to be in the back and get and slowly, nibble away at my guys. And as you can tell, seed by seed gets you a pastry because he has now 22 kills, and he was only fired upon once in the entire game, and he managed to destroy so many of my guys and procure so many losses that, oh, this was a bad off-map artillery for me. He managed to cause so many losses for my guys that, you really have to admire how well he's managing it. That one sniper. Yeah. Now, what I wanted to say when I was talking about this little building here, which is the Kampfkraft Center. The Kampfkraft Center is essentially used to buy veterancy. German troops, unlike American troops, don't earn veterancy. You can be in the game for the entire game, have 100 kills. You're not going to get one single. You're not even going to get veterancy 1 unless you buy it through the Kampfkraft Center. And as you can tell, he bought veterancy 1 for all of his infantry units, his support units, because his sniper also is veterancy 1, and also his tank units. So that's a lot of manpower spent on veterancy. And he also has a lot of units on the field, and although I am taking losses, they're taking losses as well. Especially his bigger, like infantry units, like his Volksgrenadiers, were down on 1 man. I think I even destroyed 1 Volksgrenadier units. His Grenadier units are constantly taking hits, and he has to reinforce all of that. And stuff like that made me wonder throughout the game, how the hell did he manage to... You're gonna see what's gonna happen in a while. I'm gonna try not to spoil anything. I wanted to say, how the hell did he manage to keep fielding so many tanks, because you're gonna see a tank parade in about a minute or two, and I'm actually impressed with how well they dealt with it. But no matter what I did, no matter how many of these guys I killed, I never killed the sniper, by the way. I'm just gonna spoil that. The sniper will survive the entire game. But no matter how many times I killed these guys, he managed to reinforce without losing too many resources. I honestly don't know how that's possible, because one thing I noticed as an American player, not that I myself am American, I'm not, but playing as Americans, is that reinforcing costs a lot of money, man. Like, that shit expensive. And this guy just kept reinforcing so easily. It made me wonder, like, is he cheating or something? Like, how the hell can he reinforce with such ease? And no matter how many times I destroy his units or force him to reinforce, he just keeps very easily coming back, and it seemingly has infinite resources or some shit. But anyway, I really hate H2s in the early game. How much damage is this gonna deal? Did you just hear the the way I pronounced the word this? I said this. How much damage is this gonna deal? The Slav in me comes out sometimes. Yeah, but anyway, my M10... Oh, by the way, this M10 is completely retarded. You're gonna see... I mean, you can already tell because he's facing the wrong way, but you're gonna see it later, too. Also, I don't know if you just saw it, but these guys were just flamed completely, and it barely caused any damage. I don't think that's fair, by the way. When you get flamed... when I get flamed by Wehrmacht's pioneers with flame throwers, I start losing health so quickly, it's obscene how fast I lose health, and these guys just got flamed and nothing. Which I don't think is particularly fair, but anyway. He has two of these guys, I have one M10. To be honest, one M10 can destroy two Stus, but not when they have support from two Stormtrooper units, both armed with Panzerschrecks. Yeah, that's what I'm up against. But for reasons unbeknownst to those with any semblance of intelligence, I am going to try to take this entire force on with a single M10. The reason is I'm a complete retard. And it's gonna get destroyed immediately. Because the M10's armor is so weak. Do you remember when I said that I got this tank depot in an attempt to get Shermans? Yeah. See how that worked out, huh? At this point, by the way, I pretty much knew it was GG. But I still wanted to play because I wanted to try to repel. And fun fact, I almost actually did. I was very close to turning this game around, I feel. But this Stu is just going to town on me, man. Like, I do not know how to defend myself from this. Because I think that the main reason, by the way, I lost the game is because I never managed to decap this. And I only managed to decap this a few times, but that honestly is not even that big of a point. The most important point is this one. And if he manages to decap this, I'm essentially cut off from everything here, right? And if he manages to decap this point here, I'm essentially cut off from here and here. And if I decap this, he is also cut off from all of the points here, right? And not once in the game did I manage to decap this. That is essentially the reason I lost. He kept decapping this the entire game. I would obviously recap it, but still, it happened a few times in the game that I was completely cut off from all of the resources here for like a minute, and that minute, cost resources. And the same never happened to him, and that's why I didn't manage to win. But anyway, see, he just keeps doing it, and he's doing it so well. I honestly can't even say shit against him. He's just really good at his job. Damage engine for him. I don't know. That range, by the way, is insane. He was here when he shot my my engineer, so that's just insane. But yeah. Yeah, the M10 is gonna do a really good job now. A surprisingly good job. I'm quite proud of myself because I usually don't really play well when I have several units of different doctrines on the field. So when I have a tank and I have to play alongside infantry, when I have armor alongside infantry, I don't really, I'm not really good at managing them for their both unit-specific tasks. Simultaneously, the range on that thing is insane. How the hell did he almost just shoot me from that with the Panzerschreck from that far out? Like, go fuck yourself. That shit should be illegal. But yeah. I know that this is desperate, but I need to cap it. And as I said, that how many? Hold up, boy. Let me see this. Okay, he needs to retreat, and then we're gonna see how many kills the sniper has so far. As you can see, he now bought his infantry units Veteran C2. Also Veteran C2 for armor. He has two of these Stus. Also so Veteran C2 for infantry. Veteran C1 for support units. 34 fucking kills. Motherfucker, are you insane? Oh my goodness. If that was an American sniper, he would be Vet 3 right now. How the hell does he have that many munitions? Wait, let me check this. This is 10. This is, oh. Oh. I get it now, yeah. Wow, this guy should play professional baseball because the curve on that throw was just insane. So now he bought Veterans Hit 3, which gives him, I don't know if you can see it, I hope you can, the side plating, see? Sorry for that. The side plating here, that's what you get with Vet 3 Stus. Which means his armor is pretty much as good as it can get. I can still nibble away at it with my M10. It won't destroy him quickly, but it will eventually destroy him, as you can tell. These guys should get the hell out. I forget to retreat them because I'm not that good at this game. I mean, that's just me being self-deprecating. And one Stu down. And I have another N10 up. And at this point in the game, I started feeling good, you know. I thought, you know what, I might not be, you know, as bad as I thought. He has another shoe here, and I gave him a bit of I gave him some sticky love. Yeah, I know how that sounds like. I said it on purpose. I gave him some sticky love. And after just one shot from the N10, he's already in pretty low damage, and he has another shoe coming in because he spent 500 manpower on him. And this is, I think, the thing that I know a lot of people say that this game is perfectly balanced. Don't get me wrong, this guy beat me because he's a much better player. He did not beat me because the game is unbalanced. I'm not trying to say that. But a lot of guys will say that this is the most perfectly balanced game of all time. Strategy game of all time. And to an extent, I agree. But for example, he can call in a Stu for 500 manpower. In order for me to call in any tank, I have to build a supply yard which costs 50 fuel and I think 200 manpower. Don't quote me on that, I'm not sure. I think it's 200 manpower, 50 fuel. After building the supply yard, I have to build the tank depot, which is 90 fuel and 350 manpower. So at this point, we're talking 550 manpower and 140 fuel. And after all of that, to just build a single Sherman, which was the most common tank in Allied tank in all of World War II, I have to get 420 manpower and 120 fuel. No, 120 fuel is for the Sherman Crocodile. For the regular Sherman, it's 90. Still, so altogether, to build this tank depot, I have to spend almost 1,000 to build this tank depot and get a single Sherman. I have to spend almost 1,000 manpower and more and almost 300, close to 250 fuel. Whereas he can get a Stu for literally just 500 manpower. And in the early game, which is when he brought the shoe out, because he brought the shoe out around minute 12, in early game, getting a shoe out is such a huge difference maker. It makes all the difference because when you see that armor, there's a psychological element to it. You don't really have any anti-armor as Americans at that point, and it's just I think this option it should be either much more expensive, or it should cost at least some fuel or some munition or something. I think this is something the Relic introduced as a single player skirmish option. They never really intended it to be used in multiplayer, and you know, it is what it is. But I am gonna destroy it though. But the fact is, I had to invest so much time and money into the destruction that, yeah. Interestingly, these 4 units have been here for a while. He didn't build any new infantry units. He has the same pioneers, the same infantry unit is the same sniper who's at 40 fucking kills, brother. That's insane. He's been investing all his manpower and fuel and everything into these stews. As you can tell, he's not building any other building. He has a Wehrmacht quarters. He has a Kampfkraft center. He will not be going for Panthers and stuff like that. He's just gonna be stew spamming, essentially. And this tells me two things. This guy's really good at keeping his units alive because these guys have each of these units have at this point been in at least 15 engagements from since the beginning of the game. And if I recall correctly, I only destroyed one of his units, which is, respect to him for doing that. And this applies to the sniper as well. And at this point, as you can tell, it's pretty much GG. Also, by the way, this is really important. He has a repair bunker for his tanks, which is gonna play a huge role. And this is just me abusing the fact that the M10 is. I mean, it's not abusing it. It's game design. It's put in there. It's put in there that feature that the M10 is so fast by game design. It's intentional, because these guys have better armor, but I can outmaneuver him, right? So I'm doing it. But the fact that they can effectively hit me from so far out, I mean, come on. But I managed to destroy him. I wonder if I brought my M10 here, if his bunker would repair it. I don't think it would, but it would be fun if it could, right? But anyway, this M10 did its job. It destroyed H2, and immediately he gets another one. It's so easy. And this is what I'm telling you, like, honestly, you can't convince me that this shit is balanced, because I have to jump through 4 different hoops to get a single Sherman. Also, it's kind of ridiculous that the M10 is cheaper than the Sherman. I understand that it's weaker and that it can only be used against armor, but historically, the Sherman was the tank. It was the backbone of all Allied armor, specifically U.S. armor, but also it also served in the British um, army, and it should be the most easily attainable tank. And instead, it almost takes double what you need a for an M10 to get a Sherman, and you know it just depresses me a little bit. But look at the range of that thing, Jesus Christ, that is. How the hell did any of these troops, mine or his, survive this confrontation is beyond my understanding. But yeah, I'm just gonna speed it up a bit now because it's obvious what's going on at this point, right? By the way, if you're wondering why I'm not putting anything out from the tank depot, it's because I'm trying to get enough manpower and fuel to get a Sherman. That was my idea essentially 7 minutes ago, to deal with all this infantry alongside my infantry. I wanted to just avoid the tank and destroy the infantry, and at the same time I wanted to back in the day when I had 1 or 2 M10s, at the same time I would attack the stews with my M10s, but I just kept getting sidetracked with other stuff and couldn't get enough to build a Sherman, and that is essentially where nothing is being produced. But yeah, you can see what's going on at this point. I don't think there is any point in me prolonging it. At this point, obviously, I knew the game was over, but I just wanted to play for a little bit. I didn't want to go out like a coward. Unless I think that I was fucked over by the game, I'm usually not gonna drop early. I'm gonna play. I'm gonna die like a man. I mean, within the confines of the game, obviously, in real life. It'd be different. But anyway, what I said earlier about him being really nice at the end of the game and explaining a few things to me. Oh, take a look at this chat right now as it's going down. Okay, actually, I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna speed it up so you can pause the video to read it. By saying that he lost a ton of infantry, I mean that he never lost. He only lost one unit completely, but he did lose within 5-man units. He often lost 4 men, and within 4-man units, he often lost 3 men. So yeah, he means don't let Wehrmacht get to late game. That's what he means. As in, you need to either press them extremely well early on and end the game quickly, or do it mid-game. But you can, if you let Wehrmacht play the long game, get into the late game, they're going to win. And he's right. But the thing is, he started deploying late game armor in very early game. That's the reason he won, basically. I mean, also he had better map control, and but it's not like I wanted to play against late game Wehrmacht. The late game Wehrmacht came for me, not I didn't come for it. Because I'm asking this because in early game, um, he had I put a lot of pressure on his infantry, not a ton, but enough pressure for him to, he had to spend a lot of manpower to compensate. So I'm wondering, like, how the hell did you manage to get out of that threat? He says that you can make a medic bunker, to revive, but he doesn't have a medic bunker. He has a repair bunker. He doesn't have a medic bunker for his infantry. So I have no idea how his infantry. He didn't have, passive infantry units. So basically, his main advice for me is don't play the long game against Wehrmacht because you're going to lose. And that's true. If you get to the late game against Wehrmacht, you're going to lose. I mean, unless you're from the USSR, because, they came to essentially to the suburbs of Moscow and still lost. The Germans, I mean. So, and they also tried playing the USSR is probably the only country that genuinely played the long game against Wehrmacht and the SS during the Battle of Stalingrad and won. So yeah. Also, I mean, kind of Bastogne. You could make an argument that the Battle of Bastogne in the winter of 1944-1945 was the Americans playing the long game against Wehrmacht, and they won in the end. So, but in Company of Heroes, yeah. So he says that you should maybe use M10 spam, which I did. I didn't spam because to spam would mean to just keep putting out the same armor and do it in massive quantities. I didn't do that, but I did try to respond to that. And he said I could try air doctrine, which I don't think is particularly useful here, although it could have been. I mean, I don't know. I would have to replay the game to try it, or sniper spam, which I'm never going to do because honestly, if you genuinely use sniper spam in Company of Heroes, you're a bad person. You're going to go to the seventh circle of hell. It's that's the way people who don't know how to play at all play to compensate for their lack of general gaming skills. Playing sniper spam is the Company of Heroes equivalent of just pinging the ball forward, crossing it, and just trying to header your way into victory. It's basically prime Atletico Madrid terror ball in Company of Heroes. You're a complete pussy if you play um, if you sniper spam, and I genuinely want I genuinely want something bad for you to happen in your life, not in the sense that I want you to injure yourself or for your mother to die. I don't mean something that dramatic, but if you play sniper spam, I honestly want, I don't know, for a car to drive over a puddle today and to get you soaking wet with, puddle water. That's what I want to happen because you deserve it. Because there are also tournaments in Company of Heroes in which sniper spam is completely banned. You can only have one sniper in the field at a time. If you get two snipers, you're automatically disqualified because it's such an overpowering. It's a game-breaking move to have two snipers on the field at the same time. So when he says you can try sniper spamming, I'm like, yeah, but I still have a shred of, human decency and I guess I want to say nobility about me that and honor. So I'm not gonna do that. Yeah, I forgot that I told him that. Yeah, I refused to play sniper spam. Yeah. And anyway, I think it was a good game. He was so much better. He deserved to win, definitely. And I would happily play him again. I happily lose to him again. But I honestly have a question to like people. Maybe you can explain in the comments. Why in the hell were we even matched? Because he's level 8, 1v1 Wehrmacht, and in Panzer Elite, in Wehrmacht 2v2 and stuff like that, he's level 14, level 13. But in 1v1 Wehrmacht, he's level 8, and I'm level 5, the US. So I don't really know why the two of us were matched. I feel like that's a terrible mismatch, honestly, if I'm being completely honest. So, yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's it for this video. See you in the next one.